most of us have at our ages. Will quantum computing solve the ED problem?
Not a problem.
Oh, let me, I want to, I'll talk about it later. Do any of you know about this company you can buy ED things for $1 a piece? I'm serious. There's a drug company that I buy 90 Cialis generics for $95.
Doesn't it work?
It works. I mean, this is real pills. They got them in Viagra. They got them in. They got the generics.
Yeah.
In, this
So
is
halfway
a
through it craps
real
out.
deal.
Yeah,
I'm just
Bob,
telling you something. Talk to your
Bob,
urologist.
you can do it through GoodRx also.
No, not $95 for 90. That's
Yes, you
$1 a
can.
piece.
$1 a pill.
GoodRx is
$1
at
a
least
pill.
$15, $20 a piece for even the generics.
No,
I looked
GoodRx.
at GoodRx.
No, I
Okay.
take GoodRx over to.
Well, let's
Stop and
save that. Let's save this for the discussion part of the meeting.
Okay, see ya.
All right.
Maybe
Bye.
getting into TMI territory here.
Okay, let's get started with welcome to our what may be our last Zoom meeting. And next week, remember, we're going to go live, and we'll talk about that more during the slide presentations. Okay, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, guys. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our next slide, please, Carl.
Yeah, we've got a.
Okay. I guess everybody has read in the paper if they get it, or on the news. One of our members, Alan Coulter, who joined, was it a year ago, a little over a year ago, passed away. And Alan died. He died on October 4th at 78 years old. He was born in Brooklyn in 1943. He graduated from Hobart College in Geneva, New York. All right, guys, if you're not a speaker coming up, please mute yourselves. He graduated from Hobart College in Geneva, New York, and then attended law school at NYU. He taught English and public speaking in high school for 3 years before beginning his broadcasting career at radio station WHN. I remember that station. I don't know if anybody else does. Alan was the announcer on To Tell the Truth and the $25,000 Pyramid and hundreds of commercials before joining David Letterman in 1995. He stayed until the last show in 2015. And as I said before, Alan joined us in May of 2020, and he was going to be a future speaker, talking about his career in TV and as an announcer. So it's sad we lost Alan, so let's have a moment of silence and remembrance of him. Thank you. Does anybody have anything to add regarding Alan Coulter? He wasn't, as soon as he joined, we got hit with the COVID, so we didn't really get a good chance to meet him unless somebody knew him personally.
Joe, Alan Sosnowitz here.
Alan, yes, please.
I've known Alan for, oh gosh, maybe 30 years or so when he was president of Temple Bethel. And the one thing that he will always have a place in my heart, he was always very, very kind to my mom and everybody else who ever met him. But a very kind, wonderful man. And when he joined the men's club, it was just terrific to be able to see him that often. all the civic events. As you know, he was the announcer for all the parades, the balloon parade. He did whatever he could for the community. Just a really, really nice guy. I know his first wife and I know his second wife. Actually, his first wife is married to Alan Krim. So I've known Alan Coulter forever. A wonderful, wonderful man. That hurt my heart when I got the notice. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Alan. Next slide, please.
I think I've got too many pictures on this slide deck. It's a big lag. Here we go.
Okay, our October birthday boys. And we've got a couple of nonagenarians, Ray Feinland, Stubby Junta, Sam Kravitz, and George Patterson turning, well, they're well into their 90s and continuing on. So congratulations and best wishes to all of our birthday people. And Jerry, if you would.
I'm here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, dear fellows. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Jerry. Our membership anniversaries, 20 years, Gene Shapiro, 5 years, Ed Furman and Ed Leonard. Congratulations, men. I don't think any of them are on with us today, but our congratulations go out to them for attaining their anniversaries. Real quickly, our policy is, as always, for all in-person activities, and that's going to include our live meetings. Attendants are required to be fully vaccinated for COVID-19 or be tested, then show proof of testing if they have not been vaccinated for 48 negative results 48 hours prior to the meeting. Okay, next week, big week, we're going to resume our live meetings. Initially, we're saying that the meeting attendance will be in person only. However, the Fish Church is limiting attendance to 60 people, and we're going to institute a reservation system, and we'll talk more about that in the next slide. Face masks are required at our live meetings per Fish Church requirements and also in accordance with state and CDC requirements and guidelines. What that means is even if the state lifts the requirement and the Fish Church maintains it, we would have to follow the requirements of our venue. Since we're the first group that is returning to the Fish Church, we are really the test case, and they want to see how it works out. The discussions that we've had with them, they realize that our members are fully vaccinated, at least the ones that are going to attend, and they may look at relaxing some of these requirements. However, as far as we know, we have to go by the fact that these rules are going to apply for the next 9 meetings through the end of the year. And at the end of the year, Fish Church will review their meeting allowing policies so that they may change some of these requirements. We're hoping that they do. It includes, you know, one of our best, nicest features is having that snack in between the business meeting and the presentations. However, we're not going to be able to use the kitchen, and any beverages, coffee, water, what have you, that you may want, you're going to have to bring in yourself. Now that, I mean, whether you bring a thermos jug or mug, or you go and buy coffee at Duncan D and Donuts Delight. That's, up to each individual. We're initially not going to have any snacks because we can't put out a community table and pick at it. We're going to have to, if anything, individually wrap the snacks. And we're just going to have to see, as we move along during these next 9 meetings, where we go and what we can and cannot do. So if you want anything, again, bring it yourself, and that they're allowing us to do that. The live meeting only, as well as some of the other restrictions, as I said, are subject to change depending upon the needs of our members. It's possible that we could go to hybrid meetings if necessary, and with the limitation of 60 people, that may end up being a possibility. But the COVID situation is a moving target. They were looking at this when the positivity rate started hitting 4+% a few months back with the Delta variant, and now I looked, it's down to 2%, I believe, and dropping. So who knows when things change, but the Fish Church again has appears to be very conservative in this matter. So we'll have to see where we go and what direction they take us in for 2022. But I'm just asking that please bear with us. We're trying to do what we can for the membership and providing a great experience through the end of the year as we work our way through this. And as it just bear with us. Next slide, Carl. I think that'll explain something. Carl, if you want.
Okay, all right. Dave Kaplan found this software that's called Eventbrite, and we're going to try using that in order to control attendance, limit our attendance to the 60 people that the Fish Church has suggested. We'll be sending out an event announcement each week, and it'll also be posted on our website, which will contain a link to the Eventbrite software. In the first couple of weeks, that email is going to contain instructions to how to use the software, which is very straightforward once you've used it for the first time, but does require some basic instructions, and we'll be providing that as well. And officers and the setup crew will be given priority. So out of the 60 spots, 10 or so are going to be reserved for the people who will speak at the meeting and the people who need to be in attendance in order to make the meeting work, set up the audiovisual equipment. And if these live meetings are a big success and the sign up for spots at the meeting exceeds 70, the software automatically establishes a waiting list. So that if people sign up on Monday and then discover on Wednesday morning that they won't be able to attend, and they're asked to cancel their ticket, and then a waiting list will automatically notify the next person in line that, yes, now there's a seat available for you. Please indicate your intention to attend and take advantage of this opportunity. So there's this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bumps. We won't get everything right the first time, the first weeks. Things will evolve, but we think we have the basic framework for working with the Fish Church's restrictions and offering our members the opportunity to sign up for these meetings and to be guaranteed a seat during the meeting. So like I said, this will evolve, as Joe was indicating. It's not going to be perfect, but it will be by the time we finish with it. So please bear with us.
I want to thank Carl Dave, and a couple of the other fellas, Steve and Stu, who have been trying to iron out the bugs. We're really no bugs. I'm not the IT expert, and when I saw it and looked into it, basically once you get on the Eventbrite, there's a big red button that says register, takes you to another screen and confirms that takes you to registration system, and you just press the other red button and it's done.
Hey, Joe, there's a question on to everybody about where at the church is the meeting?
Where it's always been, Fellowship Hall.
I'm just repeating the question that was
Yeah,
asked.
it's at Fellowship Hall. It's where we always meet.
Joe. Hey, Joe, this is Joe.
Those of us that have never been to a meeting before, where is Fellowship Hall?
Who's asking that?
Rich Agustin.
Okay, when you pull into the Fish Church parking lot,
In the front or the back of the church?
it's not, when you pull in, if you listen to me, when you pull into the Fish Church parking lot, directly in front of you as you come in, there's a low building. And it looks like a hall, and that's Fellowship Hall.
Okay.
It has its own entrance, and you know, you don't have to go to the church. Now, just remember, parking is going to be, there are spots that are reserved for the, I guess, Patriot Bank that moved into the old P Bank. And there are spots reserved for the building that is behind the church on Morgan Street. We have, should be ample parking in the main parking lot. In the driveway that pulls around to the church, there's complete parking on the right side of that drive. And I guess we do put out a sign and reserve a spot for the day's speaker. And the other point is on Bedford Street, in front of the wall, the Fish Church lawn wall, there's street parking available there. And that's another 10 or 12 cars that can fit there. So there should be ample parking in the area. But as I said, the entrance to the church, to the Fellowship Hall, is right off the parking lot as you go towards the actual church. You can't miss it.
You can also enter the parking lot from Morgan Street.
Hey,
sorry?
Joe, Gary Gepner, I got a question. It sounds kind of silly, but there's a contradiction to being able to drink your coffee and keep your mask on at the same time. And if
Well,
everybody drank coffee at the same time, nobody would be masked. So are there going to be any rules about where you can drink your coffee, where you can't drink your coffee?
No, there's no
It sounds
rules.
crazy, but you know.
There's no rules about that. And you know what? They said we can bring in and drink our coffee. Obviously, they're aware that you can't drink your coffee with a mask on. So that never came up. And let's not even think about it. Just bring your coffee and drink it and enjoy it.
Straw.
Joe, this is Joe Mattel.
Yes, Joe.
Emily Boothroyd is our featured finance speaker 2 weeks from today. And I'm under the impression that she will be able to zoom in, the only person zooming in, and that she will appear on the screen in front of the group. Is that correct?
Yeah. You know, we are, you know, you can zoom in. It would be like a speaker that's, you know, any speaker that's unavailable to come. We do have that capability, and it's a simple, you know, the computer is hooked up and the computer is hooked up to the screen. So that would not be an issue.
So is that going
that.
to be
I think
is that going to be a new Zoom code just for her or for any speakers? Otherwise, anybody could use it if it's the same one that we've been using all this time.
Well, I'm not, I'm not the technical guru on that, but I know that the question came up. I think Howie brought the question up, and
Joe, excuse me, Joe Mattel,
Yeah,
she is all set up to Zoom for the earlier meeting. We have no one else scheduled to do that at the moment.
right.
We don't,
Has she received the Zoom address to use?
I have no idea. I think you have to speak to Steve Fisher. Steve Fisher?
okay, can we, just do this offline? But yes,
Sure.
she is going to be able to Zoom in to address the group.
Okay,
So
Send
the
me her
details, let's not get into the details. We've got a fairly lengthy meeting. I'm sorry to Joe, but yeah, you understand. Today's speaker is Dr. Susan Herbst. She was president, or she is the president emeritus of UConn. I guess she was president for a good 10 years or so. And she's going to speak about is democracy in peril, 10 critical American political dynamics to understand in 2021. That should be interesting. Stay with us for her presentation. And continuing on, Stu.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to our last Zoom meeting. Next week, as you can see, Mark McGrath, who is the, I guess, son-in-law of our president. He's also of lesser importance, probably, the Stanford Director of Operations. And he's going to talk about what's going on basically in the city and what's been happening there. The week after that is David Curris. You've probably seen his name a lot in the newspaper, certainly a local newspaper. He's the director of the Downtown Special Services District. All the entertainment stuff that's going on down there. He'll talk about all those activities. On the 28th, Mike Markovitz and Michael Hyman. Again, Hyman, you may have seen in the news. He's in charge of the Stamford Against Racism here locally. And these two guys are going to talk about making us understand what our own personal views are of racism, to understand how you think about this. Very, very enlightening. And my wife's gotten involved in this quite heavily, and it's something we need to think about moving forward. Anyway, last of these four, Lou Casola, whom I believe we had 3 or 4 years ago. He's still this town engineer, and he's going to talk about all the projects, the roadways, the bridges, all things that that department gets involved in. So that should be, again, a very, very interesting talk. So that's it for now. Have a good day.
Thank you, Stu. Ira.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you all enjoying this more invigorating weather that we're having. Last week's minutes, everybody should have received. I have not received any additions or corrections, so I'm going to turn it over to Joe for approval.
Ira, as always, thank you for all that you do. And I have had no comments, so they're approved.
Thank you.
Howie.
Okay, on October 14th, we have Joe D for current events. On October 21st, we have Emily Boothrood, who works for Lori Price in investing. On October 28th, Art Feldman, Woke Culture, and its origins and effects on investments and retirements. Come early, see the speakers. Make your reservations early. Thank you.
Next line. All right, Carl is away out of town today, so he asked me to. Tai Chi lessons are very active on Mondays at 2:30 at Scalzi Park. And until my back gave out, I was trying to do it. You see me here in the left corner. But it was great exercise and just being together. It's an enjoyable hour spent, hour and a half spent. So if you want to get back in a little bit of shape and want to do some exercising, please contact Carl, and I guarantee you'll enjoy yourself doing it.
Carl indicated to me that they'll continue outdoors through the month of October, and that he's trying to find an alternative indoor site for the winter.
All right, thanks, Carl. Now we are, Carl, you want to continue with the walk?
David.
Had a very nice turnout at Irwin Park. You can see the group assembled here, beautiful weather. So I'm sorry, down at Cove Island, it'll be Irwin Park next week. We invite everybody to come out, join us. It's a lot of fun, chance for camaraderie and just enjoying the environment.
Thank you, Dave. Stu?
Hey, hello again. Just a brief wrap up of the picnic. This will be the last slide of the picnic. As I mentioned last week, the event was really successful. Total attendance turned out to be 95 people. We had our guests were there, the mayor spoke, the candidates were there. Turns out financially, although we're supposed to break even, and we got pretty close to even. So we made maybe $82 on the whole deal. And so a couple of folks who were entitled to refunds, if they reach out to me, we'll refund the money. And then the break even will be almost zero. Okay. Next week live, when we're live, hopefully we can have a table in the back. I'm not sure if we're going to do that or not, but I'll bring a deck of cards. That was the giveaway present, as you can see there. Excuse me. The deck will be available. We'll have a checkoff list. So, bring that little coupon we gave you at the event. We'll give you your deck of cards, and then you can go home and play cards. So, again, thanks for everyone who attended, and thanks to the committee who was really terrific in pulling this thing together. See you again next year.
Thank you, Stu, and your committee, and we won't hold it against you if we turn a profit. It's always good because at the end of the day, all of our activities should end up as break even. So some of them may lose a couple of dollars, some of them may make a couple of dollars, and it all washes out at the end with break even. So thanks a lot for all your effort and your committee. You guys did a tremendous job. Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Senior Lands Association. Alan, are you with?
Good morning, all. Our trail walk at the Rockefeller Preserve is set for a week from this coming Tuesday. The leaves are starting to turn color, so we're likely to experience some very attractive fall colors during our walk. It will be very manageable with an option that's no more challenging than the local walks that many of us have been participating in at Cove Beach and in New Canaan. This is a very special destination. Plus, we will have a naturalist to help us appreciate what we are seeing. I will be pulling together info sheets, which will be sent to all of the folks who have signed up. I'll be sending those sheets out next week. If you're interested in joining, please do contact me this week, by the end of the weekend. I'm going to be out of town next week, so won't be able to attend our first in-person meeting at Fish Church. But I will be getting out the info sheet so everybody will have what you need to join us a week from Tuesday. Does anybody have any questions or comments? All right. We'll see you then.
Golf outing, Brian, Howie.
Greetings all. Right now we have 19 golfers. All and any new golfers are welcome to attend. You can either send your checks to me or drop them off at the meeting. And for those and I will be sending up follow-up emails shortly to anyone who has signed up or anyone who is a prospective signee. Howie, you got anything?
Bring your game.
Okay,
That's long gone.
Nah, you're ready. Thank you. Okay, I have just secured Woodway Country Club for our holiday luncheon on Wednesday, December 15th. Menu will be similar to what we've had before. I will be narrowing it down with them. And the pricing will be narrowed down as we have not had it, just had the first meeting on Tuesday, and the young lady has to check with Chef. So when Chef gives us the information, I should have it. But if anyone who has potential interest and wants to secure a table for them and their friends, you can email me at howiebreslow@gmail.com, or you can come sign up at next week's meeting in person if you want to be fortunate 60. But I think we'll have a very nice time. Thank you.
Thank you, Howie. Carl.
Okay, no change in the number of new members for 2021. And I guess it's a reminder that the officers need to talk about whether we're going to try and, if the live meetings were working out, whether we should try to have an open house membership drive, but that's for another day. The other business is that after this long hiatus caused by the pandemic, we'll be distributing anniversary pins at the next meeting. And I asked the people who are receiving, for example, a 10-year pin, return their 5-year pin, so they don't have to keep ordering new pins to everybody throws the old ones away. So please bring them with you. I'd like to get a 5-year pin from each person that gets awarded a new 10-year pin, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, just briefly, I'm not going to read the names, but the people who are eligible for 5-year pins are listed here. And you can see there's quite a number of them. 10-year pins, a similar large number, 15 and 20. And we even have a 35-year. John Durso is the winner. And I believe when I went through his record, I think John Durso is a founding member of SMAS. If anybody else goes back that far, can testify to that fact. But he's the first name on our list, the oldest membership date we have. So
I think he indicated that when he got his 30-year pin, that he was so quote unquote charter member.
Carl, could you please go through those names again very slowly?
Which year, or do you want all years?
10-year. Oh yeah, 10-year. Yes, there I am at the bottom. Thank you.
Not to be left out, Alan Sosnowitz.
I didn't see it the first time. I was scanning. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. And I'm sorry. My hesitation had nothing to do with you, Alan. Something else crossed my mind. It has nothing to do with this. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Carl. And now our fellowship director, Dave Kaplan. Dave.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, well, we had a bumper crop of birthdays this month, and we sent out special happy birthday greetings to our nonagenarians, Ray Filan, Stubby Ginta, Sam Kravitz, and George Patterson. Always happy to do this, and really great to see so many of our members thriving. On a sadder note, however, with the passing of Alan Coulter, we have sent a condolence note to Peggy Coulter, and our thoughts are with her and the family in this trying time. So, what news do we have? Good news, sad news, whatever. Let's share our experiences. Anybody?
David, this is Jerry talking. I just want to remind people that this is the final weekend for 1776 at Curtain Call. There are a number of men from the senior men's group who have attended, and the ratings are terrific. So there are seats available, and you know who's going to be on stage. Thank you very much.
Good, Jerry.
Well, thank you, Jerry, and we look forward to seeing you. We're going to go. Anybody else have news to share? If not, well, that's all I've got, Joe. Thank you.
Hey, Stu, this Carl, I think we need a new picture of Dave. Dave looks like he's a little concerned about your photographic abilities or something. I think we need something with Dave smiling, which he does most of the time.
Next time I see him, I'll snap a shot.
Whatever, Stu. I'm happy with it as it is. But thank you for your concern, Carl. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. Dick Harper.
Good morning, everybody. We've switched the code breaker to October 27th because the book's a little long. It's got some good science in it. I find it very interesting because she kind of explains the science very well, and the she is a person whose parents I knew at college, as it turns out. And this is a very interesting book. And we're still entertaining suggestions about the next book. We've had some, and anybody wants to put another title up for the following book, I'm certainly open to it. Thanks very much.
Okay. I see our speaker has joined us, but before we introduce her, are there any items that anybody wants to bring up for discussion?
Other than Bob Budke's, right?
I'm sorry, Carl?
Other than Bob Budke's concern, which we'll keep among ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. And we've got time for a little humor. I think we can use some. Alan, can you contribute something today? No? Unmute yourself, Alan.
Thank you. Did I tell you the story of when I was in France and this cemetery at this church was just, all the gravestones were just willy-nilly. And so they put a shovel in the ground, they hit a rock and they said, well, let's move it over this way. So nothing was lined up at all. It was just all over the place. And then we get in the bus and we go down to the next stop, and there was somebody on board this bus quicker and smarter and funnier than me, because the tour guide on the bus was telling us when we got to this orchard that the young lovers would come out and they would take the branch of one tree and tie it to a branch of the tree next to it. And they would go back after a rainstorm or a windstorm, and they would see if the branches were still tied together, then that romance was going to last. And if it was torn apart, that romance was not going to last. So I said, well, that's fine for young lovers. And this was an older crowd. I said, but what do you have for older lovers? And this fellow on the bus said, well, there was that cemetery back there.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay. I guess there's nothing else. And Dr. Hurst is